Okay, here we go. What a week. What a week. What a week. This week, we're talking about March Madness, Sweet 16 predictions, MLB Opening Day, if we won the Masters, and what we're watching this week. Hit the like button, smash that subscribe button. Going to see a Super Bowl win. Like, my window is closing, Fred.
Never know. I mean, it could happen. I could end up at one of these Chauncey Billups poker games.
It's Monday, y'all. Fred, let's talk basketball, my friend. Let's get into basketball. March Madness. The tournament started on Thursday. Upsetting Wisconsin. I'm not going to lie. I picked Arkansas to win it in one of my brackets, which I'm still all in for. But I'm not going to lie, Fred. I was kind of hoping that High Point beat Arkansas.
High Point's good. I don't consider beating Wisconsin and then losing to Arkansas. No one remembers how close it is when you look at a week from now, 2 weeks from now. So I don't consider that like a Cinderella. I also don't consider like Texas a Cinderella.
Wait. You don't think
it
High
is,
Point beating Wisconsin is a Cinderella win? I mean, Wisconsin's a good team, and it goes to show you how tough the Big Ten schedule is right now.
Cinderella run. So yeah, you get one. You'll have a win, and it's like, yeah, cool. Like I said, you're not going to see a St. Pete's in the grade 8. Like So, and I don't consider Texas like a big crazy upset. Like I know they're an 11 seed, but like Texas is a legit team, and they're also just not a Cinderella. I mean, cool, and there wasn't that many, but like there was enough. I mean, there was bigger upsets with the bigger teams, like the Iowa beating Florida is a bigger upset than High Point beating Wisconsin to me.
Yeah. Florida going down last night was awesome because I didn't pick up Final Four of any of mine. So that might help me separate.
It's just great just to have the goddamn games on and then switching off in the last 5 minutes. Like after one game ends, you look at the top next game that's going to end or the close ones. Like last night, I'll be honest, I turned off the Alabama game, the last game, and they're up by 30. UNC is not the UNC. I mean, Hubert David's getting fired within 2 days, right? Yeah. So
I was just going to say, man, the way that they handled the end of that game was absolutely terrible. I mean, getting a 5-second call on the inbounds, purposely missing the free throw, but yet missing the complete rim. Like, come on, man. Just like stupid things. Inbounding the ball. Like, you deserve to lose.
The tournament, amazing. Sweet 16 Thursday.
Another great game was Santa Clara and Kentucky. And the other thing, too, is so I had a 6-game parlay going. Last game to hit was Santa Clara. So I'm at the cigar bar on Friday with the boys, watching the games. And they hit that shot as Santa Clara did. I'm just like, and then all of a sudden I look around and I'm like, what just happened? Like, what just happened? I was counting my money, Fred. The Vanderbilt game, Nebraska. Yes. Now that was Saturday night, right? Right, Fred?
Yes.
Okay.
And Saturday, late afternoon for me. But here's the other thing. Next year, you got to come out here. 9 a.m. we start. So awesome. 9 a.m. and then at 10 o'clock, 9:30 at night, you're done.
Right. Like the game last night, what was it? UConn, who played last night? UConn and who did UConn beat?
Alabama was the last game.
Yeah, but I didn't watch that game. So
Johnny's played Kansas, another crazy game.
Yeah.
UConn beat up UCLA.
Yeah, UConn UCLA game. That was 11-ish o'clock last night when that was the last game I watched. I didn't watch Alabama.
Yeah.
I watched the Johnnies. By the way, and I got hammered on TikTok. I don't know if you saw that. Kansas hasn't made the Sweet 16 now in 5 years in a row, I believe. And I said they didn't perform well in the tournament. Hammered for that. Hammered saying that St. John's was better than Kansas. Look who's laughing now, kids.
Well, and the crazy thing is, I didn't do any of my homework, man. They were playing at San Diego State.
So I didn't realize that either. And I was like, that's right in his backyard.
Yeah, man. So I just didn't look into, first of all, didn't realize that the East region was playing in San Diego State. So come on.
You're just not acclimated to be living on the West Coast yet.
Not acclimated yet.
Used to the time thing.
What's that?
You're just getting used to the time thing.
barely. Like, yeah. But Nick had texted and said, "Are you there?" And I said, "Savannah Bananas," because they were at Petco this weekend.
And you didn't go to that? Well, that's hard. So I'm in the
No.
raffle. I'm in the
So
raffle here in
so a
Detroit.
guy on my team, shout out to the Sharks, he went $40, but sat up top. So there were tickets available. Now, I didn't realize they were in town either until, we went out on Saturday morning walking around to grab a coffee and stuff. And I saw some people walking around with like Savannah Banana jerseys. And I'm like, they're here. Like, like normal people just don't even have those jerseys.
Right.
So like I look it up and I see that they're here Saturday and Sunday. And I'm like, dude, that's awesome. That would have been kind of cool, whatever. But and then yesterday I hear these guys talking at my baseball game that one of their kids wanted to go, and he's like, yeah. So I picked up some tickets, $40. We're up top, but like, and I was like, dude, that's good shit.
For sure.
So
Maybe do you not get Wi-Fi in the high rise? Maybe that's it. Maybe you're off a couple days. I don't understand why you're missing so many things that are
you know
literally
what,
in
Bradley?
your neighborhood.
Well, yeah, and no, and San Diego State is like a 12 to 15-minute drive from here.
Oh, so you didn't feel like making that drive.
We don't drive in the city. We walk around. So like, but yeah, no, it's been crazy. There was a music festival downtown and stuff like that. Like there's a lot of shit going on. Right now, it's like spring break central too. So it's also, and I say this when we go out, usually in Little Italy, it's bachelorette central. It's like groups of 8 to 12 girls coming into the restaurant and getting like and
Yeah.
then you got to just hope that like, you're there with them at the beginning
Yeah,
because
you don't want to be there at the end.
you can't hear anybody. There's a lot of yelling going on, laughing and cackling.
A lot of woo girls, I would assume.
What's that?
A lot of woo girls.
What's that?
Means when they take a shot, they're like, "Whoop."
Definitely a lot of woo girls.
You know exactly what I'm talking
So,
about.
but yes, we did, had some good dinners downtown this weekend too in, Little Italy. We've been to maybe like 10 places already in Little Italy. It's fucking amazing.
That's
But
awesome.
go ahead. Back to
Well,
yes.
yeah, I
What
guess
I was
let me
telling you before we got disconnected was the cool thing was that like we're watching that game, the Vandy game, I have it on and Mary's like, like reading and like every time I'm like, she was reacting, she put the book down and like watched the end of it and was like, oh my God. Like, so it was very entertaining, like obviously.
Yeah. And, God love Mary. She's there sitting there because there was one point on Sunday, like, Sarah looked over at me and was like, "Let's turn on something else." So I was like, "Understand." Put something else on, got the phone next to me. So, you know what I mean? Like, I understand. That was a lot of basketball. And then you and I are very similar in the same respect that if it's just us two, I'm over here looking and just like, did you?" And
Yeah.
she's like,
Yeah.
"Stop.
Yeah.
Stop. Am I winning my bracket or no?"
Like I told you, walked out to get a coffee on Saturday morning. And when we got back to the apartment, Mary just looked at me and goes, so, basketball all day for you? And it's like,
Check this. This has been fun, by the way. This has been fun. Nice talking to you. Let me ask you this, Fred. What team surprised you the most over the past 4 days?
as much as they didn't come through in the second game, that High Point team was pretty impressed me.
Yeah.
But Iowa, come on, man. Like,
Yeah.
what? I don't know, man. It's like a lot of teams, like most impressed by, well, and also most impressed too is like not just the upset teams, like now, like a shitty coming into the tourney, a shitty looking UConn team looks scary. Like again. So it's like, how do they make the switch, right? Like State does the same shit. It's like,
But you know what the two things about both of those schools, and I know you're going to disagree because you for
yeah, the
some
coach.
odd reason or not, it's the coach. I know you're not a Danny Hurley guy for some reason or another. I feel like he stole your girlfriend in college or something because every time I bring it up, you are so upset about
Dude,
Danny.
first of all,
What is your dismay with Danny Hurley? I don't get it. Does he owe
no.
you money? Did he
No, he
get you on
doesn't
some
owe me.
weed on campus back at
He
the day?
doesn't owe me money. I will say this, he's a fucking rat. So, and then I'll leave it at that. That's all. Like, good guy, maybe into the bottle a little too much in college and stuff like that, which is fine.
Like a bad guy.
No, no, which is fine, but it's when you're missing games, it's, like, and I think the pressure of the Bobby Hurley thing wore on Danny a little bit, but I mean, good guy wouldn't I mean, didn't have the talents to take away any of my girlfriends in any part of his stretch of his imagination. But like, bottom line, great coach, but personally, yeah, no, I think he's just a fucking rat. So, and I don't want to get into that. So
Okay, fair enough.
maybe
Sorry.
for another time. Let's have
Yeah.
him on. He knows why he's a rat. He
Okay.
knows what he did, you know?
And Izzo is just Izzo in
Yeah,
March. I don't
yeah.
care what anybody says, like love him, hate him, be a big diehard Michigan fan, or you wanna call him a little troll. The dude is 61 and 26 in tournament play. End of discussion. That's it. Plain and simple. The last Big Ten team to win a national championship was his 2000 team, which is wild, right? I didn't realize that. Those boys were humming back then. But again, it's great guard play. Always. He always has a stud and as much as I'm probably not and here's the other thing too. Jeremy Fears Jr. hasn't kicked anybody in the nuts in a week and a half, Fred. So he's turned the program around.
He has. And the other guy on the team hasn't kissed somebody's nuts in a week and a half.
So I mean, it's like Izzo has him humming at the right time.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? What player for me, let me answer that question too. The most impressive team, obviously I'm just gonna have to go Big Ten in general. I'm going Big Ten in general with 6 teams in the Sweet 16. Now, like I just said, the Big Ten hasn't won a national championship since 2000, probably the best year the Big Ten will have. But it goes to show you, yes, NIL has crushed Cinderella, but NIL has definitely helped the Big Ten in football and in basketball. See what happens when the playing field's level?
But is it level? I mean,
Well, I mean, we weren't
you
paying
mean
our player the
you
Big Ten
mean
wasn't
you
paying
mean
players like that
you mean within the Big Ten, it's level.
within the Big Ten.
Okay.
Yes, 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 yes. Yes. But, I'd have to say just in whole, Big Ten, 6 teams at Sweet 16, that's phenomenal. I don't think anybody saw that coming. I don't care how many brackets you're up there. Nobody had Iowa playing Nebraska.
No.
Oh, I don't care. If you did, you changed it. You lying sack of shit. You did not have Iowa playing Nebraska. There's no doubt about it. Let me ask you this. Who's the player that you in this tournament that you're like, wow, the most exciting player in this tournament so far?
I think one of the most valuable players is the kid Gillespie from Tennessee. Like,
Good. Oh, one I did out of left field and I did not see that coming. I love it. Tell me more.
just I mean, like you said, guard play is like huge. I mean, they only played 2 games so far, right?
Mhm.
I mean, we don't really know. I mean, Caravan at UConn is just, I mean, come on. He looks unstoppable. But now we're going to get into the nitty gritty, right? But the first 2 games, Gillespie drops like 20 something in both games, double
Right.
digit assists. So like, I thought that was awesome. The last game they won, he had a huge game, lots of assists. I think so. Like, I thought he was maybe the most valuable right now. I don't like, but yeah, we're 2 games in, and like, maybe after next weekend, there's going to be a couple people that put, a 4-game streak together of like big numbers. Like, and I think Caravan is possibly one of them too. He just looks unstoppable sometimes. Like, I don't know. But again, we're getting into the Sweet 16 and the Grade 8. So, like, these games are going to be a little more tougher. They should be.
For sure. My tournament, hands down, without a doubt, Darius Acuff. I mean, Detroit's own Cash Tech guy. He only played Cash Tech till he was a sophomore and then went to IMG after that. Dude, the kid is a flat out cold shooter, man. He is a stud. I mean, I think the only maybe argument that may not get him in the top 3, top 4-ish pick is defense. Just doesn't play it real much. But that kind of fits in with the NBA.
That's
I don't
good
know
for the
what
NBA. Yeah.
yeah, it's great. And then runner up for me is gotta be the kid from Michigan, the Dominican LeBron. Lendenborg had an
Yeah.
amazing 2 games. I
He
mean, this
did have
kid
a
is something special, man. I thought he was really good, and so those 2 guys were my, main one, but I'm an Acuff guy, man. I wanna see Arkansas win the whole thing. I would love to see that. I'm a Calipari guy too, man. He's just he's just a stud, dude. I don't care any jacket he wears, The guy's just smooth, man. There's nothing I love him. I think he's awesome. I think he's a lot of people don't like him, but that's probably why I
Yeah,
like him most, you know what I mean? Okay, Sweet 16's here. Thursday, we got Iowa, Nebraska. Fred, who you going with?
Nebraska.
Okay. Same here. I took Nebraska. I went through and picked it. Here's an interesting one too. On Thursday, you have Houston and Illinois. Who you going with?
I like Houston. I know a couple people like Illinois, going a little further, but yeah, I think Houston now totally opens the door with the Florida loss because so like yeah, I like Houston.
A lot of and that's when I was looking this up this morning. A lot of people have Illinois. I went with Houston as well. I'm with you. Still on Thursday. This game's going to be amazing. I got Arizona, Arkansas. What do you think?
I mean,
This this game's going to be it's a pick'em game in my opinion, right? Like
yeah, I didn't look at the numbers yet, but like it's got to be close. I got Arizona just because of financial bracket reasons.
financial bracket reasons. Oh, okay. I
Yeah.
gotcha. I gotcha. I gotcha.
So
Understandable.
But yeah, no, I mean, listen, with the brackets and stuff like that, I don't have that much invested. So I don't really care. Like, I mean, it's cool to hang around,
Yeah.
but when it comes down to Arkansas and Arizona and stuff like that, it's just great to be able to watch a game like that. And like, these are the things that I was saying a couple weeks ago. Like, like the matchup, like that Duke Michigan game earlier in the year. These are the matchups we're getting now moving forward. Arizona, Arkansas. This is what we're getting in, you know, the Sweet 16. Like, come on.
Well, kind of right piggybacking off that, it's like that's how I was feeling about the Arkansas High Point game is financially I had Arkansas in 2 or 3 brackets. I think I have 5 total. I had Arkansas winning and advancing, but in the moment, I was all in on High Point. I didn't give a shit
Yeah,
about
yeah,
brackets or anything, man. I wanted to see these boys play. And I don't remember the kid's name off the top of my head. Maybe you remember, but the guard for High Point, their point guard, he had an amazing game too. Like he had 30 some points as well.
yeah.
So
That
so you say we're
I think
both in on
Arizona wins that game.
I'm sorry, Arizona. I'm going with Arkansas in that game on Thursday. And then the last game on Thursday, well, I'm not necessarily in particular order of the time of the game, but Thursday is the last bracket part here. We got Purdue and Texas.
Yeah, I mean, I think Purdue wins that game, but it's interesting because I wonder if Texas is gonna like I think it might be close.
Okay. You think Texas could possibly
I think
win it?
they can possibly do it, but like I'm gonna go with Purdue. I mean,
Okay.
you know,
All right. And then obviously now we're moving into Friday, the biggest game of the week, in my opinion, Duke St. John's. I
Duke.
made it very well known that I'm all in on St. John's. Rick Pitino's taken 4 different teams to the Sweet 16 now, Providence, Kentucky, Louisville, and now St. John's. Talk about an absolute stud. And I don't know, did you hear him talk about the last play of the game by chance? The
Not
kid who hit
really.
the kid who hit the last shot went
Yeah,
to Pitino and basically I can't think of his name, went to the coach, went to Pitino and said, "Hey, run this play." And Pitino was like, "Okay." They break the huddle. The guy starts heading out, and then Pitino they said to himself, he's like, he hasn't had a shot all game. He didn't have any points. His first 2 points was to win the game."
yeah.
And he's
Tournament
like,
record.
which is crazy. That's awesome. But Pitino's the man. I'm all in St. John's.
I think Duke. I mean, I think that Duke, Michigan, Arizona, and Houston. I mean, one of those teams is winning.
All
So
right.
yeah,
And
I got Duke with that. That's going to be a crazy game, though.
yes, it's gonna be a great game.
Yeah. So that'll be a good game too. Really
Okay.
good.
And then, which I think will be another great game, we have the Michigan State Spartans and UConn.
Yeah, I got
Hurley
State in
versus
that.
Izzo.
What's that?
Hurley versus Izzo.
Yeah, I got State in that game. Although, like, like moving from last week and looking at the bracket matchups, I had State winning that game. But
Yes.
watching UConn over the last 2 games, I don't know. I mean, that game's gonna be crazy.
Yeah.
So that'll be a really good game. I got State. I think I got State in that game.
Are you picking State because you think State's gonna win, or are you just doing that because Danny Hurley's a rat?
Probably a little both.
Fair enough. Then Michigan,
Wait,
Alabama.
who do you have?
I'm sorry, I went with State. I didn't even think twice. I'm all in on Izzo. I want Michigan. Look, in a perfect world, Michigan plays Michigan
Of
State
course.
in the national championship. That would be awesome here. But the
That would
rest
be
of
crazy.
the rest of the country probably doesn't give a shit.
No, see, like, that's a little different because, like, everyone's I think a lot of people outside of Michigan are invested in the U of M team this year because they've been in the front, spotlight, and then college basketball fans outside of Michigan are fans of State, like, Izzo and stuff like that. So, like, I
Good
think
point.
that would be kinda cool.
Yeah, so I have MSU on that one.
Okay.
Michigan.
Yeah, Michigan.
Okay, Michigan for me too. Tennessee, Iowa State.
So that's tough, man.
Could be a good game.
Yeah, I'm gonna go Tennessee with that.
Okay, I took Iowa State on that one.
I think
So the only
Gillespie.
ones. So I want which ones did we not agree on? Okay, so Tennessee, Iowa State, I have Iowa. That one we did not agree on, and then the Houston.
You also have the
No.
John.
Yeah, Johnny's. And then did you take Illinois over Houston? Okay, so I think it's this. I think it's St. John's and Iowa State. Those two games that we disagree. Okay, interesting. So I don't know. It's going to be fun. I can't wait till Thursday and Friday. It's going to be a long couple days. Unfortunately, I will not be partaking in the women's tournament like you are, Fred. I'll probably
Yes, I was gonna talk about that too because when you talk about
straight
Cinderellas,
more
there's
smoke.
no I know you can't stand the women and and the advancement of women in sports, but listen, just hear me out. Look when you talk about remember we spoke about Cinderella's over. When you look at the women's tournament, Cinderella's not even invited. Like, like it's the gap is so big. All I want you to do is this. When you get 5 minutes, right? Go over some of the scores, right?
In the
Look at
tournament so far.
that. Yeah, that's it. Just look at the seeds and the scores. I mean, some of these teams are winning by 40, 50 points. Like,
How it's fun to watch though, Fred.
I'm not saying it is. What I'm just proving my point with Cinderella in the women's is way gone. Like
Not even.
it's not even close. So like it's so crazy that, like there were like two tens that beat a seven, a couple nines that beat an eight. Those aren't upsets to me. You know,
Yeah, no.
you're not getting a high point in the women's. You're just not. It's the difference is crazy. It's just insane. But yeah, that's why.
Let me ask you this because I don't watch women's basketball. Has this always been a thing or has NIL really separated the difference? It's always been a thing, top seeds blowing out.
Yeah, it's always, but I mean, lately it's just been crazy. It's like it's not even close. It's like, and I know like we have talked about when in the men's, it's like you have some teams that like would be towards the first of all, bottom of the Big Ten that are in the tournament, right? So it's not the best teams in America. It's 32 conference winners or small conference winners, and then other 32 best teams in. So there's so many women's teams that like would still blow out some of these high seeds and stuff like that that didn't get in the tournament.
Yeah. All right, moving on. Fred's favorite day of the year is coming up this week. We got the MLB Opening Day.
Yeah,
Whoa.
Wednesday, Netflix.
Okay, so answer this question for me, and I know how you're going to answer it, but I want everybody else to hear this because it makes no sense to me. Okay, let's talk about other sports. For example, we'll talk about football, right? And when they open the first season of the game, they generally take somebody who was at the Super Bowl or somebody did well in the playoffs. But that's not how the Major League Baseball works. What they decided to do is they decided to take the Yankees and play San Francisco as the first game of the entire base. Fred, why do you guys get the first game?
I mean, I think we know why.
But you
You're
didn't
being
win anything last year.
I mean, getting to the ALCS is doing something in the playoffs.
But what about Toronto? What about the Dodgers?
Okay. Yes. Now let's talk about well, listen, we know why they picked the Yankees. I mean,
Do we?
let's
Fred,
stop.
I asked the question.
Well,
I asked the question.
let's stop beating around the bush here.
Okay.
They're America's team. They're
I
the
knew
they're the most loved and most hated team in the world. So, I mean, there you go. I mean, they're the ones you want to open up with. Let's be
okay,
honest.
then why the Giants?
They just happen to be on the other end,
Right
like
place, right second.
It was Yankees the whole time. Well, the Giants are gonna be really good this year, actually, too.
So why don't you, Fred, I've known you, it's going on 10 plus years. You have a tradition
Yes.
at every opening day. You do the same thing.
Yes.
Now that you're like the Jeffersons and you're now in a high rise,
Yeah.
is there going to be a problem of how your opening day was? Which I want you to do is I want you to explain your opening day tradition. And are you just going to have your doorman do it for you now? Explain to me how you're going to do this.
So my tradition is to make hot dogs on the grill. I like not the 999 challenge or anything like that. And we actually spoke about this. The Mets are
What's the
selling
999 challenge?
9 beers, 9 dogs, 9 innings. So like one each inning. Now my thing was 9 dogs, 9 blunts, 9 waters.
Because I was going to say, Fred, you're not much of a drinker, and I had a feeling that 9 beers would probably put you in a situation where you might not make it to the ninth inning.
Are you kidding me? I'll
You
drink
think you
9
could?
easily. Yeah. I'm not worried about that. The thing
Okay.
is, they don't sell beer after the 7th. So you got 3 piss warm beers in the ninth, like 7th, 8th, and ninth. So like that's so dumb to me. Also, if you're at the stadium, that's a $300 project.
Right. Yeah.
So, but yes, making hot dogs on the grill is my thing, and then scoring the game. Now
I
in the
actually didn't know that, Fred. I didn't know that you hand score the first game.
Well, so, like, there's a couple different things I do. Score the game, Yanks win, score the next one. Kinda do one of those things. Sometimes score the game, even if the Yanks win, don't score after that. I do usually score every All-Star game, and that's a big game for me too in the year. I'm a big All-Star game guy. But in the move, I have in storage, I have my scorebook and all that stuff like that. So I will not be doing that this year. I will not be scoring.
Fred, you can Amazon yourself a scorebook. It'll be there in plenty
It's
of time.
I use one scorebook. It's, Mary's grandfather's scorebook from when he coached, and I use that, and I also have a pencil from Yankee Stadium that I use, and a pencil sharpener from one of Mary's uncles that I use. So, I don't wanna get off that if I'm gonna kick the tradition or skip a year or so before I start a new one. I think it has to be a wash this year with no scoring and
Do you feel like you possibly could jinx the Yankees on Wednesday?
no, I mean, jinx them from what? Like, not
No.
winning, going to the World Series?
No, just the start of the new season, something fresh.
Not worried about it.
How are you gonna handle the
Super
growth situation?
super pumped. I can't wait, actually. It's gonna be amazing. And then, like, it's gonna be tough. Like, you got baseball on Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday with basketball. And thanks to you guys, we'll be going to the Tigers on Saturday. So, fired up about that. Mary's scurrying around looking through all our boxes and our stuff for her gear, because she's always gotta have.
You didn't answer my question. How are you gonna handle the dog situation being in the high rise, Brett?
So I'm gonna get away from the dogs. Being in the yeah. So being in the George Jefferson situation, no, I will not have my dormant do I we're one of the people. Like I'm one of the people. I would not do that to the doorman. I'm more of a like invite the doorman in and watch the game, like kind of guy. But I'm not gonna do dogs.
Fred, I I stop. I have to say, living in a high rise has changed you, but
Well, because I was gonna get to the what I was gonna put on the grill was a couple filet. So like
makes sense.
So, you know, so like it'll be interesting. I don't know yet how I'm gonna do this. It's 5 o'clock our time. Game time is 5 o'clock our time, which is cool, but I'm gonna have to get things really in order because Mary comes home right around then. So like I'm gonna have to have her dinner ready early.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
So
Which you should be doing anyway. So
of
I mean,
course. Yeah. She walks into a hot plate.
makes sense. So give me a prediction, record wise, that you see the Yankees at this year.
95 to 100 wins. I mean, here's the thing, Brad. I know we talked about like what additions and all that stuff will make an impact, in the notes and stuff like that. Here's the thing. The Yankees have the identical team they had last year. There is no addition. Like, yes, signing Belly, I don't consider that an addition, people put that in their reports because he was a free agent, but he was on our team last year. So, like, there are no additions. They had the best team in the AL last year. They were tied with Toronto and lost the tiebreaker due to head to head. So they go from the 1 seed to the 4 seed. Like, there is nothing, but they didn't make any moves. I don't know if that's good or bad. It seems like, I mean, on one hand, it's like, oh, they didn't make any moves. On the other hand, it's like, well, they have the same team that had the best record in the AL last year. So, like, I don't know. They lost Cole. So, like, Cole will be back, you know. So I'm pretty pumped. And I think that they're gonna do very well. Like, I'm quietly, though, I believe, because they're not gonna have Cole at the beginning. I think that Boston's really good. I think Toronto's really good. I think that Baltimore played like shit last year compared to what they should play. So they'll be up there. Tampa is always like a fucking thorn in people's side here and there. They're always like, you look at the record sometimes, you're like, it doesn't match with what they when they beat teams and stuff like that. But no, I'm pretty pumped. I think 95. I'm gonna go 95 wins.
Okay.
Would be like, I'm being generous, I think, but I would say 90.
Okay. I'm going with the Tigers. I went 87 and 75. I think 87 wins. We win the Central once again. How we end up in the playoffs, that's still to be determined. I think if our pitching staff stays health,
Definitely.
good, I think we can get over 90, ideally. The thing I'm most excited for is Kevin McGonigal and seeing what he can do. Like, I'm very curious. There's a lot of talk about how good he is. I mean, he's got a really good glove. Is his bat going to be good? I'm kind of excited about him, man. I think he's a good addition to this team.
Yeah, no, I think that's something to look at, obviously. I mean, everybody's gonna have their eyes on him. I think addition-wise, Framber Valdez, like, I mean,
That's I
like,
Valdez, and I also have Kalen Jensen, the closer from
yeah,
Dodgers, who's
of course,
four-time All-Star.
of
That could
course.
be a good one. It's
Yeah,
it's
but
crazy to me that you don't hear a lot about him in Detroit media too. You know
well,
what I mean?
because
As one of the bigger
he's
additions to
I
this
think
team.
he's your 8th inning guy.
Yeah,
So, and that's what happens later in careers and stuff like that. But what is good is not just locking down the ninth, 7, 8, 9. So, like, that, that's a great start there. Yeah, no, I think the Tigers win the Central too. I just hope that for Detroit's sake, Detroit fans, I just hope that they don't get off to a slow start pre All-Star break and then fucking unload.
let me
You
ask
know,
you this question, and we haven't talked about it much, and I want your honest opinion from a baseball fan, not a Yankees fan, not a I moved out of Detroit and lived here for 8 years, but I want an honest opinion. Does the record in spring training have any effect on the regular season? Because we haven't had a very good record in the spring training. Should there be cause for concern? Let me ask you that.
what I do is, and it's interesting because, me personally, like, I do watch a lot of spring training. But what I do is I always look at box scores. So if you're looking at box scores and Detroit is losing games late in the game and stuff like that, that means nothing. Like,
Okay.
I always look at the box score and then what the starter did. I like to, like, gather my, like, intel on that stuff. And then you look, because sometimes the box score for pitchers is like this, and there's like 6 guys that aren't going to play, like, and one of the guys lets up 5 runs. So, like, is that a bad loss for the Tigers? No, it's like, so, like, you have to look at, like, how these guys were performing in spring training, actually, because, like, the Yankees have a good record in spring training, but there's 2 guys that are going to be like on it that start, like McMahon, he's batting like 160. Like, like this is a
Man,
guy who's going to be starting at third base. So, like, those are concerns I have. Like, and I understand. It's like, you, some guys are just you. I mean, it's good. The World Baseball Classic, those guys.
oh,
Like, Judge comes back. Judge was off since the World Baseball Classic. He plays yesterday, hits a home. Like, I'm like, the dude is like, he's like, come on, let's start the season. Like, like,
yeah, that's
he already played meaningful baseball.
let me ask you another question. How closely have you been following this young kid that the Tigers have, this Max Clark?
Love him.
Awesome. Okay.
Love
I'm
him.
interested. Do you see him being on the roster, at some point in the season?
I don't, but next year, and I my thing is this. This is what's if I go back to siding with Detroit people, they don't like that. They don't like, I don't mean him personally, his makeup, right? They don't like the chains. They don't like the flash. They don't like that. And I'm scared that he's going to get dumped in a trade somewhere.
Ooh,
I mean,
interesting.
I think that you have to hold, I mean, because like I don't like there's a lot of people like if you go onto Insta and TikTok and stuff like that and you follow any of the baseballs and Tiger stuff, like there's a lot of people that are like, "Oh, tell him to stop wearing chains. He's not even in the league yet. Like who does he think he is?" And it's like, dude, like let people be people. Like who gives a shit how many chains he wears? Like, like I
I
love
would
that.
look just like him.
I love that shit. I just don't think there are some places where that doesn't fit in culture-wise.
Here, it's that's why I don't agree with you there. I don't agree with that. I mean, I think you got a lot of trolls in there, and because he blooped a shot in center field with the chains on, people maybe made those comments. But here's the one thing that I don't really understand, and maybe it's the lack of baseball knowledge between spring training and here is I remember years ago before Castellanos was called up, it was I swear to you, Fred, it was like 3 years of us talking about how great he was gonna be, how great he's gonna be, how great he's gonna be, and we were a struggling team, and it's like, "Well, let's see him. What do we have to lose?" I don't wanna see this Max Clark situation the same thing. Now, obviously, we have a better team now, which is in our favor, but I don't wanna hear this talk about how great Max Clark can be and not give him a shot. So you're telling me we will not see him at all this season?
I think the only way you see him is if you are not in the race, and it's September.
Fair, fair.
But you have to let the kid play every day. That's why you don't see some of these guys because you have to. Because if you bring, you bring Max Clark up, what's he going to play once a week, twice a week? Like that's not great for him. Like like he needs
That's a
to.
great point, Fred. That is a really great point because what it's kind of like in a high school situation, like, would you rather the kid play
I know.
varsity, play
Yeah.
like 2 minutes, or you gonna let him play the entire game at the JV level and get the experience? That's a good point, Fred. I get it now.
Yeah. And you know, I think I was in 10th grade and I could have like literally sat the bench on varsity, but and never got in.
Right. What good is that
Like
gonna do?
I'm like, no, I'll go to the field over there and just play JV. Like, what am I gonna do the book for? Like, I do the book now, So
That's why you're so good at it. That sophomore
exactly.
year.
Yeah.
All right, we're gonna move on because we're obviously running out of time here closely, but I have 2 more things I wanna talk about, and I threw this one in there, Fred. Every year, the previous winner of the Masters picks the meal for the following year, right? So I'm gonna ask you, I'm gonna let you go, Fred. Let's say you beat Rory last year at the Masters.
Possible.
Fast forward, it's your time, Fred. Build your Masters meal.
Okay. Probably gonna go and I'm gonna get to something after the Masters meal thing. It's PGA related. You'll like that. I'm gonna go with like some appetizers. We're gonna
Yeah, for
start.
sure.
We're gonna start with some fried calamari, some bruschetta, maybe some a caprese salad with some tomatoes and some mozzarella. That's gonna be house salad, little balsamic vinaigrette. Then we're gonna get into a bowl of pasta. I'm gonna do like a pomodoro, like a good tomato, and basil, garlic
Right.
kind of sauce. Maybe some braciole, some Italian sausage meatballs to go with the pasta.
Yeah. I love it so far.
On the table itself with the appetizers, we're gonna have a couple pizzas for the table, a margarita, you know, a a pepperoni, a sausage, thin crust, well done,
Yeah.
for the table,
Right.
for the table. And then your second course or your main course, I'm gonna go with maybe like, well, first after the pasta, you have to have chicken cutlets. So chicken cutlets come out, maybe a grilled veggie, zucchinis or something like that. And then for my main dish, I'm gonna go with fillets. I make a great fillet on the grill. Now I have people do it for me. But like
That was before.
Come on. That's when I was Gen Pop.
Right.
No, I'm gonna go with a filet to top everything off with maybe some grilled asparagus, a potato of some sort, maybe double baked or,
Twice baked?
twice baked. Yeah.
Yep.
One of those. And then for dessert, we have espresso, some cannolis, and a little tiramisu.
Love it, Fred.
Yeah. So that would be my big package.
Yeah. So you're going to see some similarities in our meal, which
Okay.
makes sense
Yeah.
because we do enjoy dining together. I started out right out the gates with the appetizer and I went just with Fred and I said, we're getting margarita pizzas for the table right away.
Nice.
I laughed at yours and the 100% just bring out the pies and let's get this meal started. I didn't really focus on the greens like you did, Fred, which is pretty standard in our dining situations. I'm going with something off the wall, Fred. I'm going with some Scotch eggs.
You know I love a Scotch egg.
You do love a Scotch egg. So I'm getting Scotch eggs for the appetizer. So we're doing margarita pizzas, Scotch eggs for the appetizer. With the pasta, I'm going with the pasta next. I'm going with something of a fettuccine. I went back and forth to bolognese to fettuccine, but guess what? I just won the fucking Masters. I can do whatever I want.
You could have both.
You know what? I'm going with both. We're going to get a little fettuccine, little bolognese. Okay. And for my main course, very similar to yours, Fred, I'm going to talk to Chef Chris from Big Rock and I'm going to go with theirs that I've gotten 3 times. I'm going with the porcini crusted filet on a bed of gnocchi with gorgonzola on top, medium rare or blue for those who really like it. And then for my dessert, I have to say, Fred, I love your dessert, probably better than mine, but I'm going with a strawberry cheesecake and
Can't go
with
wrong.
the espresso.
Yeah, you can't go wrong with a cheesecake. New York style.
Well, now I'm hungry.
So, speaking of food, I got 2 things to add to this. Speaking
Yeah.
of food and the PGA. First, the food thing. I did my review privately. I did not post anything of the
Okay.
Big Arch.
What? Oh my gosh, this is so funny that you're bringing this up, Fred, because I was on the treadmill this morning watching my podcast. They had the big arch burger and they were talking about it. And I was like, and I almost said like, Fred, we have to try the big arch and then come back on and say it. And I was going to say, this is my week. I'm going to try one this week. So you did it.
Wait, where did you see it?
I was on the treadmill this morning and a podcast did an ad read for the Big Arch Burger. And that's when I was like, oh, I got to talk to Fred. We need to talk about. Go ahead. I'm excited. I'm excited for this.
Yes. So earlier in the week, we decided to have a fast food night, and I went to the McDonald's. And I said to Mary, doing the Big Arch. Like here it is. And I said to her while I opened it up and stuff, I said I should be just fucking recording this.
Yes, you should.
So that's my bad. I should have just went TikTok and just put it right on. So my thoughts are this. It's okay.
Oof.
I know. I really wanted it to slap. And it's 2 quarter pounders on there. It's Russian dressing, not the Big Mac sauce really, but kind of.
Russian dressing.
Kind
Okay.
of.
All right.
Which is
It
kind
has
of like,
a little bit of a kick to it though, right?
I didn't get that vibe.
No. Okay.
I'm not
okay.
a white American cheese guy either. So I don't know. And I will say this, and maybe I'll try it again. It was just mid. It was. So when I traveled, I'm gonna go 5.7.
Okay. Okay.
Listen, if it wasn't all hyped up, right? And me and you went to some regular random place and had that burger, we would be like, oh, this is pretty dope. But when you have the Big Mac and then you come out with something else, the Big Arch, and it just doesn't even live up to the Big Mac.
Let me ask you this though, Fred. Are you a Big Mac guy?
Yes.
Okay. If you had the opportunity and I came over, right? And I was like, I got a Big Mac, I got a Whopper. You're taking a Big Mac.
Yes, I do I'm not a hater of the Whoppers though. But no, I'm a Big Mac guy. I love the Big Mac is amazing. It's the best fast food burger that I like.
So let me kind of give you. So I love the Big Mac sauce.
Yeah.
Okay, so what I do is I will go to McDonald's and I'll order the double cheeseburger with Big Mac sauce, pickle, and onion.
I
Pro
know.
tip,
Yes. Now,
and I love that burger.
what don't you like about the Big Mac? The middle bun?
Don't like the middle bun, too much bread, right? So, of course, my mind gets rolling as soon as they start slamming out this big arch. I'm like, well, my prayers have been answered. You cut up that middle bun, you have a bigger sandwich.
Yes.
I have the Big Mac sauce, but what you're telling me is now it's not Big Mac sauce, it's Russian
It's
sauce.
similar. It is similar though. It's not like totally, different. But yes, the burgers are thicker, obviously, because they're quarter pounders and not regular cheeseburgers or regular patties.
Right, right.
So that is a little bigger and stuff like that. But just like I was pretty pumped to try it. I'm gonna be
Yeah,
honest. Because, I'm a McDonald's guy when it comes to fast food. So and
yep,
I'm a Big Mac guy. So,
yep.
this is it's not gonna last long. Like, this is it. We may never see the big arch after this limited time ever again.
So you don't think you're gonna flash it once in a while like the Mick.
I mean, the McRib kind of is also kind of out of the picture as well now.
Yeah.
It doesn't really ever come back. The McBLT, I would like to see that back. That was
Okay.
amazing.
I
Uh,
don't think I ever had it.
California style, 2 sides, and it had the bacon, lettuce, and tomato on this side, and then put it on the
Okay.
burger. It was
Nice,
amazing.
nice.
So
Alright.
surprised.
Hey, I will vow to you that I'm going to try it. Now you may open up a social media platform and you'll see it. I don't know if I'm gonna record it or not, but for sure we will discuss it
But,
next week.
get
My
it,
review.
get the burger, the fries, right, and the drink,
Yeah,
and
yeah,
just my thing is I always have a Big Mac, and then after that, I wash it down with a double cheeseburger or a McChicken.
right.
You know,
I do like the McChicken.
the problem with the, everyday meals menu or whatever value menu is those sandwiches are terribly put together,
Fair.
like, terrible. Like, if you get, the meals, that's different, but if you get, the McChicken off of that, it's like there's a piece of lettuce in the wrapper, there's
Yeah.
mayo, yeah,
Throw
it's like, I don't know
throw it
what
in.
the yeah.
Throw it
Did
in.
they throw it together?
Yeah, because you said I'll take the number 1, take the
Yeah.
Diet Coke, and then you pause for a second, and you're like, "The McChicken." That's exactly how they prepared it. They're like, "The number 1,"
Oh, here, I
and
forgot
yeah,
this.
no.
They threw it
Yeah.
against the wall. Yeah, so I would I'm
Lucky if it catches in the bag that the drive-through guy yeah, right, got it, and then there we go.
I'm interested to hear how you, feel about the big arch,
I'm
though.
on
Yeah, you
it's
definitely gotta
so funny, but it makes sense, just our personalities and how we think very similar in some things. I was thinking about the big arch this morning too, so
I love it. I
I do it.
wanted to I tried to, make myself remember that I wanted to talk to you about that, and I didn't wanna text it to you because I wanted to surprise you with it, which I'm
Yeah,
glad I
which I love. You
yeah.
know I love that.
Now,
You know I love
here's
that's
my
why
P
I surprised you with
the
the
pizza.
Masters meal.
Yeah.
I gotta hear it. I gotta hear it.
Here's my PGA thought.
Yeah.
This is
Are we
what the P
fixing the PGA?
What's
Give me
that?
a title. Give me a title to what you're about to say. Are we fixing the PGA or
Yeah. Well, here's what the PGA needs right now.
perfect?
Okay. The PGA needs an Italian. That's what honestly they're missing. That's what they're missing. They're missing the Italian guy that's, funny, cool, a Mark Calcavecchia, like
Naco Media?
right? Something like they're missing out on that. Look what Team Italy did in the WBC. They were America's team.
So awesome to watch. So fun to watch.
So now you can do that in the PGA. You can spice it up a little bit, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
This dude's standing there with an espresso, right? Instead of a water bottle, right?
For sure.
Mid just cutting cigs too. Like, you know,
No
cutting
cigars, cigarettes.
cigs, straight up cigs, like cutting
For sure.
cigs, cursing
Of course.
with just a little attitude, that's what the PGA needs right now. It's a nice, an Italian guy that's even if he's middle of the pack. That's
But we're just putting him on the field for
yes,
entertainment. I
yes.
love it. I
You
love
follow.
it.
You have to follow him just because he's going to be entertaining.
Yeah. I love that idea. I love that idea. With that being said, what we're gonna do is, if you're Italian, obviously, like, don't come at me if you don't have a vowel at the end of your name. Nice try. It's a must. Reach out to us. We're gonna make some phone calls. We'll get you going viral, and we're gonna get you. We're gonna get you in. We're gonna get you in, but we're only gonna get you in if you're going to let us mic you up, because that's the other stipulation. You
That's
have
the
to be
other
mic'd up.
thing. Yeah. And it has to be live streamed the whole time. And then they do that and their ratings
From
go,
the locker room to the car ride home.
dude,
Fair?
the whole week.
Or do we start
Practice
at breakfast?
rounds, practice rounds, everything.
Yeah, I agree. I love it. I love the idea. I love the idea. Last but not least, our segment that is probably going to be a little weak because literally all we did was watch basketball. Fred, did you watch anything? Or are you just going to
I
come at
did.
me with say you're still watching Lincoln Lawyer?
Well, you know what? We did finish another season of it.
Fair.
I will say this, we did start the Madison, which is a Yellowstone guy spinoff, but not tied together. Michelle Pfeiffer and Kurt Russell. It's on Paramount. The first season is totally complete. It's 6 episodes. So it's the synopsis is a lady from, New York City moves to Montana, kind of. I'll leave it at that
Okay.
because I don't want to
We like because you said Kurt Russell, this kind of gives me like an overboard vibe.
very overboard-esque. Michelle Pfeiffer, I mean, you got Michelle Pfeiffer,
Goldie Hawn.
you got Michelle Pfeiffer and Kurt Russell. I mean, it's like, and it's Taylor Sheridan. So we did watch maybe like the first 4 episodes. We have like 2 left.
So
I
season
won't.
1 is complete and we're in season 2?
No, season 1's complete. Season 2 is going to be renewed. It just dropped.
All right.
But
On it.
I did watch Marty Supreme.
Thoughts?
I thought it was really good. I liked it. I enjoyed it. You know what it is? Like, if you do know what it is, but going into it, you know what it is. It's, come on, Timothy's amazing. He can do anything. But Nolan had mentioned something. Shout out to Big Daddy, AKA Nolan.
Wait, so you're saying that you think that Nolan is Big Daddy?
Or Big Daddy is Nolan.
Finkel's Einhorn, Einhorn, Spinkle. Fair enough.
Exactly.
Go ahead.
When we spoke to him and I mentioned that, he said, yeah, it's a good movie and you'll see, you'll watch it and you get what you get, and you probably will not watch it again, type of thing. And, I was thinking about that because shout out to Nolan for just locking down movie theaters. I'm going to get back into that, dude. I am. That's one of my goals this year is get back into the movie theater thing. But my thing is this, Brad. Let me ask you this. I understand where Nolan's coming when he says something like that. You understand what he means. Yeah, you watch it.
Wait, the understanding of what Nolan means by watching it once, never watch it again?
Yes.
Yeah, fair.
Oh, it's a movie that you'll watch. It's a good movie, but you probably won't watch again. My thing is, when was the last time you saw a movie that you had previously watched?
Last time I saw a movie that I previously watched.
Look.
They did a mobathon on AMC 2 weeks ago, and I watched Goodfellas and Casino.
Okay. That's understandable. But I don't know. There's not many movies over the last decade.
Yeah.
And it's because there's so much to watch, right? You get done with a movie, you're not thinking about rewatching a good movie. You're like, I have a list longer than my arm that I still have to go through. And I think that's
Right.
part of it.
That's exactly what right? There's just so many options, right?
Yeah, you're not going to the theater to see Titanic 4 times. That's not happening anymore.
No. And the other thing too is again, child of the 90s when movies were great, they just don't make the movies like they used to. Like my buddy texted me this weekend. Shout out Big John. Big John says late Sunday, sends me a picture of the TVs watching Big Lebowski. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, of course.
Yeah, we don't. They're producing way more, and I think quality is a little less. So that's where we don't get the repetition from. But I do think that it's Monday. Y'all should start a movie club, kind of like a book club. You put up maybe you come up with and I'm into newer movies.
Yeah.
And I think, just like a book club, you put up a couple things, whoever, maybe 4 options for a movie for 1 week, right? The people vote on it. And then collectively, we watch that movie and comment on it, and then the fans can comment as well in the
Love the idea, Fred. I mean, you're just throwing out good ones today, man. You're on fire. You're
dude.
on fire. And the funny thing about it is somebody came into my office the other day, one of our agents, female agent, one of our big producers in the office, and she is in a book club. She's in a couple book clubs. And I said to her, that sounds fun. I would love to join something. What's the repercussions for somebody who doesn't read the book? Because I want to be in the club. She's like, there's people like that in my group. I will commit to watching the movie, but if I
Yes.
was to join a book club, I'm not reading. I'm just there
No,
for
but I do like so Mary is in a book club, right? And she got a
I
book in
didn't
the
know that.
mail. What's that?
I didn't know that.
So like just recently, we go downstairs to get our packages because like I don't like to have the guy bring them up for me. You know, I go into the package room myself. I go in there and I play package roulette, I call it. I don't bring my glasses. I can't see shit. And I just start playing.
Do you ever have to go back and deliver the package to the rightful owner? Or do you go back to the
I keep it, you know. I got Spanx, I got, books and magazines and shit
is
like
that
that.
where you got is that where you got
My
your
silk bonnet?
yeah. By the
No.
way by the way, now that you brought up Bonnet about a month and a half ago, Bonnet's everywhere at my house now.
I mean, you got to keep your hair set. But you take the readers, right? Before it's locked, right? The place is locked down.
Okay.
You got to get in there with your phone. You take the readers, you put them on the desk, you open the door, you go over to 10th floor and you just start thinking. I can see a little, right?
Right.
But it's really bad, right? So, I get in there and then whatever she says, Mary says, I think there's 2 down there. Okay, I'll grab 2. I grabbed 2. One of them's Spanx. Did you order these? No, I put them up. I got new Spanx. So package roulette, I call it.
I love it.
Yeah,
I love
it's
it.
pretty cool.
I hope when I come down we can play. I wanna play.
Well, you got good eyes though, so maybe I put a
Yeah.
blindfold on you, spin you around.
Yeah, fair. No, my eyes aren't that good as, you've saw me in person. It's been a while, and I struggle a little bit, especially in the dark, smaller right.
I take the packages and I'm moving them around, and then she says, "Well, one should be a book," and I'm grabbing all the packages in there and stuff. Yeah, this looks like a book.
Yeah,
Like it comes up, it's a pack of spices. I'm like, great, cool. So
we win
I'll go get the book tomorrow. But
with my glasses.
so she got a book delivered, and I'm like, "What's that?" And she's like, "Oh, it's for the book club." And I'm like, "Do they have a movie to it?" Like, because I'll join the club and give my review on it, but I can't
Right.
read book.
Well, it's funny you should say that because on our last vacation, I'm trying to think where we went. I think, we went to Mexico, and Sarah always brings a book on vacation. She's obviously very busy. The things that she does for us, like she doesn't have a lot of time to read. Okay. So when we go on vacation, she always buys a book, gets some recommendation, buys a book. So she explains the book to me as, the day's over. Tell me about your book. Right. And then I tried to get her, "Well, can you just read it to me? Because it sounds interesting. I'll take the AirPods out and just read it to me."
You
She refused to do that, but apparently there's a movie out for this particular, and I think I watched it. It's the movie where everyone got in a fight over it, and there's still a lawsuit where no, that's not it. I apologize. It's something about like a girl like gets amnesia and then comes back and like his wife was separated, but then they got divorced. There's something along those lines, and now she's like a new life, but she doesn't remember the previous life. So
Yeah.
I gotta watch the movie. I gotta watch the
Okay.
movie. But again, I'm in the same boat. Like if you would just read it to me, I could understand. Yeah, but I'll just watch the movie.
Yeah. No, and that's what made me think, hey, why don't we just have a movie club because those book clubs,
Okay. Yeah, that's a great idea. So with that being said, I'm going to nominate Nolan
yeah,
as the president of the It's Monday Y'all book movie
definitely.
club.
And I
Um,
second that.
okay, perfect. So it's unanimous.
Yes.
Congratulations, Nolan, on the
No.
president of the It's Monday Y'all movie club.
Yes.
And can you please stay away from the vampire movies? We'll do 1 or 2 or something, Nolan, but
See,
be selective and know what Fred and I are looking for.
here's the thing, it's not up to us, it's up to the people, right? So,
Okay.
we're gonna put maybe 4 things out there, and if they're new movies and it might be not our favorite genre, we still have to do
Yeah.
it. It's
Commit.
only fair.
Fair. Okay. Starting next week.
So Nolan's got
Nolan,
to get on that.
congratulations on the appointed, and then real quick, I watched season 3 of The Night Agent. Do you watch Night Agent?
Not yet.
It's on
Yeah,
Netflix. Good flick. Good. It's good. It's a good action movie, government,
yeah,
conspiracy, CIA
yeah.
stuff. Pretty cool. I thought it was a good watch. Nothing too crazy. 6.8,
Okay. Yeah, I've seen
but it's a good watch.
it's on there, and I see it every time I look at the top 10.
Yeah, they promote it.
Yeah.
They promote it. All right. Great show this week, Fred. I had a absolute blast. Looking forward to starting the movie club and just trucking along with more basketball. Fred, you have a great week, my friend. I'll talk to you soon. Oh, and I'll hit that big arch. Take care, brother.
Yes. Yes. Keep me posted, please.
Yep.